and Nicho Hynes has declared himself fit and ready to play with the Blues half, adamant he holds no mental scars heading into Origin 1.
Right now, I just want to prepare the best I possibly can for this team, and don't leave any stones unturned. And I've got a clear role, and that's nothing against what happened last year and the coaching staff and whatever. But I was a utility on the bench, and I didn't know where I was going to come onto the field and when I was going to come onto the field. And look, I don't have any scars, and I'm not even thinking about that. I haven't even thought about it until I got a question asked just before. So right now, I've got to get my calf right and then get on the field and train with the boys. And I just want to go out and play the best I can possibly play for this team.
Nicho Hynes says he has no scars after his Origin debut. He gets a great opportunity now in his position to play for New South Wales, a dream come true for a guy who deserves it because he's worked hard and he's had a lot of success and he's been in great form. Are there any question marks, though, Cruels, over Nicho heading into this one?
I'll start by saying he definitely deserves his spot in this team. Like, he's been, through the 3 months of the start of the season, he's been the best player in the competition. And Madge has stuck with him, and we've got the injuries to Nathan, and Adam Reynolds is out. And what concerned me, though, was the performance, the first half performance against the Panthers on the weekend, where it was basically spruiked as a shootout, an Origin selection shootout, and he was up against Luai, and his first half was really forgettable. You know, he came up with 2 kicks that went out on the full. He made a couple other mistakes defensively, and then he went off, and you just thought to yourself, it's got to play on his mind. And then you go back to last year, where I think it was after Origin 1 where Nathan got injured, and they, if I'm correct, they went down to Melbourne, and he put in a pretty forgettable performance that night too. And they were both billed as games where he was playing for that opportunity. And as a last shootout heading into an Origin series, he's first wearing the number 7 jumper. I know he says there's no metal scars, but it has to add to the pressure.
I think I disagree on the case. I don't think it was a shootout at all, Crawls, and I think it actually goes the other way. Where
why wasn't it a shootout?
I just think I believe Nicho knew that he was in the Blues team.
You're playing the 3-time
So what I'm
defending
saying
premier.
is, I think that, and I reckon he's known for a couple of weeks,
Right.
and I reckon it's chipped away at him, and he's been trying to get to the finish line of getting to the Blues squad.
Yep.
And absolutely, I think it played on his mind last Saturday night. I've just got to get through this game. Now, the kicks out on the full were obviously a concern, but I will go back 2 weeks earlier in Magic Round. He puts one out on the full. The very next set, he kicks a 40-20. So he has proved, I think I'm seeing a much more mature Nicho Hynes than the 2022 Dally M year. And there are plenty of cases where he's played slow, fast, and help the Sharks win games in different ways.
Right? Do you carry? Obviously, like, mate, when you're a forward, if you're missing tackles, it's something that you do carry into next week. If you're a kicker and you're a playmaker and you throw intercepts and you don't play with the ball and you kick out on the full, do you carry that into the next week?
As a New South Wales half, it is daunting. It really is. And you got to prove it to yourself before you prove it to anyone. He wouldn't even know. Like, he wouldn't even know. He just cross his T's, dot his I's, prep the way that he does for a usual game. He's done the hard work. He knows deep down that he can get the job done, but until he gets the job done on the biggest arena of all, until you do that, it's the unknown. It's Gordy, it's a different level, it's a different speed, it's different at clubland. It's not even close. So, but we can sit here and speculate, and I think he would be probably have a little bit of element of doubt in himself. You know, I hope he doesn't, but he probably, being realistic, he does, because he hasn't completed it yet. He hasn't walked off of New South Wales field with a victory in the half. So until he does that, and time will tell. That's what makes Origin so special.
There is no doubt that 12 minutes. There's no doubt. My first Origin moment is still in my head. So that 12 minutes is in his head. That doubt coming back and the criticism he copped and all that kind of stuff. There's no doubt. It's not probably in the forefront, but it's somewhere. It is somewhere there.
On the back of what Brace said, and Dave also, I don't think there's any doubts, Dave, that Nicho's done it this year. Like, he was leading the Dally M. He was the best player in the competition. Yep. But to come in as that's your last performance before taking on this job, that honestly in Origin, it's the toughest job out there, wearing that number 7 jumper.
Yeah.
And I that's the only concern as a Blues fan. I don't think there's anyone out there that doesn't want to see Nicho perform.
Yeah.
Like he's such a great role model for the game on and off the field. And there's no doubt in the world everyone wants him to win. And Michael Maguire has backed him, and now it's Nicho's chance to repay that faith.
It is. And you know, talking to Nicho, I think, Gordy, you're right, where talking to Nicho, he speaks about, he feels like this is his actual debut because it's the halfback jumper. It's the jump, that first jumper, you know, yes, you don't knock back,
I get it.
you don't back knock back Origin jerseys, but coming on as a utility at right centre, that wasn't the plan, you know.
Yeah, I don't even, like, if I'm him, that's, you know, like, it was a totally different position, different circumstance, out of your comfort zone in the toughest game that there is. I really don't see that coming into play with this for him in the game one.
I think the great benefit, guys, is Jarome Luai's form, where potentially Jarome Luai becomes the front man to Nicho Hynes' backseat. Look, there's nothing that you could argue that Jarome can't lead a football team around as well from what we're seeing at Penrith. We've seen him do it for Samoa in big games for them. There is an element of Jarome needing to take that front foot in this game as much as what Nicho Hynes does.
I guess the difference, though, is the way that Nicho plays with the Sharks, with always first with his hand on the ball, whereas Jarome last week played that 7 role and now goes back to the 6. So they're playing different roles. It has to be Nicho that leads the way.
The only concern I have with both Nicho and Jarome is they love a quick play of the ball. They're very much front foot players if their side's dominating games. And Origin, again, like we know Dearden has proven himself there, and obviously Cherry Evans has. But a lot depends, Gordy, doesn't it, on the forward pack and the back five, which New South Wales are strong in.
And that's what you pick. You pick the big, powerful
But Origin's about playing off the back foot under pressure.
Absolutely, right. So the momentum's going to swing. I don't care. I've watched enough Origin to know that it is going to swing either way, right? And it's when you don't have it, how hard you can bite down on the mouth guard. And that's when you look for those guys. I know it's funny, but you look for your halves to give you like a little bit of confidence.
It's going to be their biggest
pressure.
test of their careers, and you know it happens every year with Origin, and they're both great players, both deserve it, and hopefully they both have a lot of success and win that game for New South Wales.
Obviously, like you said just before, their halves are going to jump off the back and quick play the balls. I think that's what they're imagining. So hopefully, if the game goes our way and we're winning possession,
you know as well as I do. If you're not getting that quick play of the ball and their back five and forwards aren't doing their job, it becomes a lot harder for those halves, doesn't it?
we probably don't have a half there this year as a Nathan style where he's a typical game manager. But obviously Nicho and Jarome are great in their own right, great space players and play off the front foot really well. So I think that's where Madge is going to build the game off a big power game, good leg speed. Obviously with Martin there, Mitch Barnett hopefully can get onto the bench.
Do you feel the pressure being a half in Origin? Is it compared to a club game? So Nicho Hynes, he's saying that those 12 minutes didn't matter. Is there some head noise there going into next Wednesday night?
Yeah, I just heard Brave speak about it just before. It's the height of pressure, isn't it? And it's the ultimate challenge as a half. I've obviously had a roller coaster in my career and some of the highest of highs and some of the lowest of lows after losing. And there's a lot of pressure around the halves, but there's also great opportunity. So I love Nicho as a player. He's definitely earned the right. I think Jarome too, I'm happy for him. He sort of went under the radar a fair bit, but he's done nothing wrong. He's come off 3 premierships, so what a player.